All right, this is how to draw the pipe support. So I'm going to take this drawing and I'm going to move it off screen here for me so that you won't be, whoops, come on, there we go. You won't be able to see it, but you'll see what I am doing. You can draw from your own thing. So I'm going to start a sketch on this right-hand plane and I'm going to look at it. I'll turn off all the extra planes. I'm going to start with a line. I'm going to line this up with the origin. I'm going to click, and I noticed a problem here. And do you know what the problem is? The problem is that my drawing right now is in inches, and Model 4 pipe support is drawn in millimeters. So I'm going to red X this. And I will very quickly go up here to the little hamburger thing. I'll change my workspace units. I'm going to change these to millimeters, and I'm going to green check mark. Okay, let's try the whole sketch thing again. I'll look at this isometrically, sketch. I'll select that as my sketch plane, right view, start the line. Well, you know what? Even better yet is I'm just going to start the rectangle tool and do this. So this is going to be 50 millimeters, and then going up it is 65. And I'm going to use the offset tool of this and I want that distance to be 15 actually. You can see that little 5 in there. I'm going to change that to 15. And I'm going to use the offset tool again, coming up, and it's going to be 15. And then I will trim that away, and that away, and that, and that, because I don't need those anymore. Green check mark. Whoops, isometric. There we go. And then I'm going to do my extrude of this, and it is 100 millimeters long. That comes right from the drawing. Now, in the middle of this, I'm going to push the letter P and get rid of these extra planes. In the middle of this, we've got a little block that comes out from this surface right here. So I'm going to start a sketch, put it right on that front surface. I'll zoom out a little bit. I'm going to use my rectangle tool again. I'm going to start at the top and come down to this line. The distance, so I'm using my dimension tool from that line to there. If you look at your drawing, there's two 15 millimeter dimensions. That dimension from the right hand side to this line, that makes it 30 millimeters. I'm going to do that again here to here, and this one is going to be 30 millimeters also. Now I'm done with that, so I'll green check mark. I'll take and look at this isometrically, and I'll do my extrude of this, and it's coming towards me. Now it has a dimension of 46 millimeters from this front surface to the back surface. But we drew our part on this front surface, so really that 46 millimeters, we have to subtract 15 for the thickness of this wall from it. So down here where it says depth, I'm going to take 46 minus 15 is going to give me the correct extrusion distance. The next thing is we have a U-shaped slot that goes into this face right here. So I'll start a sketch, go to that face, view normal to. I'm going to use the circle tool. I'm just touching up here to get me in the middle of this thing. I'm going to click and I'll pull this out. And this has a radius of 12 millimeters, but you'll notice my dimension is in diameter. So I have to take 12 and multiply that times 2, which gives me 24. Now I'm going to use Actually, you know what? I can use my center point rectangle. I'm going to go from here to, well, maybe I can't use that. No, not going to work. Okay, I'll just use a straight line. So I'm going to go from here straight up to that, and then I'm going to come across to somewhere in here, and I'll come down to this point. I'm going to use a constraint for vertical, and just to make sure that this other line here on the, where are you? There you are. Make sure that line is vertical also. And then I'm going to use tangency between this line and that arc, between this arc and that line. And then I will dimension from the center of this circle down to this surface right here. And that distance, according to the drawing, is supposed to be 25 millimeters. Trim tool. This thing gets rid of that. Green check mark. Isometric view. Extrude. Remove. Face to remove is that one. Depth is through all. Green check mark. Next, I have two holes that go through this surface and this surface. So I'll put my sketch on the right-hand side here. Again, I'll view normal to. I'll draw the circle. I'm going to dimension that. And its diameter, we have a diameter of 10 millimeters times 2, which means that both holes are 10 millimeters in diameter. The holes are from the top surface dimensionally. They go from this top to the center here, and that's supposed to be 15 millimeters. And then from the front edge to the center here, whoops, come on, something didn't click, to here, that's supposed to be 15 millimeters. I'll finish that. Isometric, this is going to be my extrude. Let's remove through all, green check mark. Next thing is there's two fillets that go on these corners here. So I'll use the fillet tool. My fillet distance is going to be 15 millimeters. That is told to me, or my chamfer, I'm sorry, is 15 by 15. That's told to me in the note down below. I'm going to click on that little line there, and that little line there, and green check mark. That finishes the bump out, for lack of a better term, okay? Now, the next thing is I need to put two holes in this surface right here. So I'm going to sketch, put two holes on there. I'll view it from the top. I'll draw a hole right there, and I'll draw another one over here. I'm going to make them horizontal, so I'll only have to put one dimension on. See, they just kind of snapped in line. I'm going to put a diameter dimension on here, and the diameter of these two holes is supposed to be 12 millimeters. So I've got 12 for this one. I'm going to use an equals constraint between this hole and this one. Now they are both the same. Dimension, it's in 15 millimeters from this edge to here. So I'll put 15 in, and from this one to this edge, that is also 15 millimeters. And then from the center to this face right here, that is 15 millimeters. And because I use that horizontal constraint, they both want to the same vertical distance there. Isometric, green check mark, remove that one, And this one, distance is through all, green check mark. And the last thing we need to do is put a fillet on. The fillet is going to be 15 millimeters, so we want to fillet that line, and oops, that line, that line, and that line. And the size, like I said, is 15 millimeters. Green check mark, and that part is completed. Next thing we need to do, I'm going to highlight the entire thing and right click on it. I'm going to say assign material. I'm going to go into my materials. I'm going to scroll down until we find brass. These are alphabetical. Here we go. Here's regular brass. Don't select casting. Select brass. Green check mark. I'm going to go to this little scales on the right hand side, and I'm going to see that my weight is 3.082 pounds. I'm going to compare that to the drawings that are posted in the front of the classroom, and it will be the correct weight. That's how you draw Model 4 pipe support.